once again to late night home labbing. Tonight, I figured I'll do a little bit of extra, put myself on the stream here. The camera's not optimally set up, it's kind of actually facing to the side there. At some point I'll do a little bit better and maybe use the cam from... Well, actually, let's see what we can do. Add a source. See if I can get that to work. Nope. So that doesn't work. There goes my idea. Alright. So how my audio sounding there? First time trying OBS. It seems to be working. Can't really complain. I still prefer vMix a little bit better, but vMix, because I'm using the cheapest version, basically it limits me to 4 inputs, which is kind of annoying, but gets the job done. There's some things in vMix also that I need to figure out, like how do you do some audio processing, like compression and things of that sort. Yeah, what the hell? Like screen switcher, output timer, full screen interface. Yeah, that's a full screen. Alright, so don't really have much planned for tonight, but you know, figure I'd give it a shot anyway. Let's see what we can come up with. So we got some updates. So last time I streamed, which was on Twitch, and since it seems it seems as though I can't get OBS to stream to 2 services at once, I will probably just stick to streaming on YouTube, which also means I have to change some stuff on my website. Anyway, so yeah, last time we were working on, we were going to do an OpenShift server, and then it just took so damn long to do anything that I basically abandoned it. But let's see. Anyway, let's go on. Let's move along. Do I have OmniGraph on here? Nope. Do I have any drawing apps on here? The guess with Cliffy will work. So I made some changes actually the past few days. If you remember, I was running Proxmox before, and I liked it. I liked it quite a lot actually. But then I realized that because they don't actually use libvirt, I ran into some issues with other tools wanting to use it. And even though I had a template that I created, the clones would just take forever. So messed around with mass, worked relatively fine. I guess it doesn't do reboots on its without the power driver, which it doesn't have one for that works with wow, why am I blanking? It doesn't have one that works with Proxmox, basically. So the actual install takes longer than if I just did it by hand. And then I just decided to mess around with Foreman, and you know, I like Foreman. I've used it. I've messed with it in the past in the lab, and then I also use it at work for bare metal provisioning. Like we are very we're a very VM and container heavy infrastructure. However, you still need to get the actual bare metal stuff online to do any of the fancy stuff. So we use that. Now foreman works well. And like I said, the problem is it's a little bit of a pain to set up, and then it breaks pretty easily if you make any changes. So it's a little fragile, but no. I spent the afternoon just messing around with it, trying to familiarize myself with it again. And I built a host off of just using that. So this, my Ansible Tower VM, I built just using nothing but foreman. So there's some bugs I have to work out with my pre-seed scripts. I mean, basically you essentially tell foreman how you want things to look and operate. I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but so for example, pre-seed, for those of you who use Debian, I mean, I use Ubuntu for a lot of things. So if you look at pre-seed default, I don't know how well that's showing up on the screen there, but it's a lot of parameters, and you just basically tell, describe how you want the computer to be, well, say server, or in this case server to be, but anyway. And there is a plugin that will let you talk directly to hypervisors. So speaking of hypervisors, I switched things around a little bit, and I'm running Xen, but more specifically I'm running XCP-ng. And I like it a lot. In the past I used Xen, but I remember I had a problem trying to run modern Windows VMs on it, and that just caused me all kinds of headaches, and I ended up going to Overt. I just won't run VMware anymore. So yeah, I spent a couple days, tore down my entire VM infrastructure. There wasn't a lot on there on my on the Proxmox box, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. Let's see, VM state running. Let me just get rid of this filter. So there's the Xen Orchestra appliance, which is pretty cool. Lets you do a lot of stuff. However, it's all the relatively cool features are not exposed unless you pay, and it's like $70 a month. For a lab, that's just not going to happen. So I built the community edition, the XCP-ng. It's basically just I don't want to say a fork or a clone of Xenserver, and which is essentially just built, well, XCP-ng, I should say, is built on top of it's just really a modified CentOS 7 install. Some things don't really work right because they changed the Red Hat release file, so it doesn't actually say CentOS on there. But you can work through that. Like this GUI that you're looking at is built in Node. It's just a matter of cloning the repository, running yarn install, or actually yarn build, and that'll get you actually up and running. And just a quick systemd.service file to make sure it starts on reboots. Now, with that said, in my Proxmox box, I had a I used to have I basically had a ZFS. I had a ZFS array on the box itself, which meant I didn't really, I could store all my VMs. I had like 20 or 16 T of storage, something like that, and it was all good. Even though this is essentially CentOS, I did not want to mess around with trying to install ZFS on Linux. I should say, I just didn't want to mess around with ZFS on this box. I mean, maybe one day I'll try it, but for now, I'm not really doing it. It's just a lot of effort. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna kill the camera. Well, maybe I won't kill the camera yet. But yeah, so I'm running this, and then I basically turned my I basically turned my why do I blank on simple things like this? I turned my FreeNAS box basically into mostly I just built a 5T iSCSI LUN, and then I attached it to my Xenserver. So this is it right here, 5T. Let's see how much of it am I actually using. So I use about 500 gigs, which I'm actually not even sure why it's 500 gigs. Okay, so if you see, so for example, these drives that you're seeing here were just drives that from the tests I was running earlier. And I guess even though Foreman can do a lot of integration with Xen, it doesn't clean up after itself to leave this behind. So anyway, so what are we doing tonight? We're gonna try to, well, before we do that, let's just say close this task out, build Foreman, and it works. Bang bang. Common close issue. So there we go. Got one down. Let's see. Kill that. All right. So let's go back to this one. Build a 3-node cube cluster. So because I couldn't get the because I have some bugs to work out, and I'm actually not even sure how well this will work, I am going to start with a single box. And like I said, because I don't like the way, well actually I should explain. So when I built the VMs earlier, it built the VMs correctly, except it would place it on the wrong network, which was annoying. And even when you try to change it in Xen would pretty much just throw up a big FU and say that you can't do it, and you basically were stuck. And it wasn't even that it put it on just any network. It puts it on the internal network, the host internal network, kind of the equivalent of using 127.0.0.1. So that didn't work. And like I said, it wouldn't let you change it. So now instead of doing doing it like I can show you, if I set it to hypo 1, it would actually build it, and I wouldn't have to go and runs through everything and so on. I don't have to do much. So this is all set up. I just basically have to set my password. Now, if I remember correctly, I had already preset this, so I think no matter what I set it to, it should work. But let's just double check. Yeah, you see, I already have the password in there. But just to be in a bit of a belt and suspenders, I'm gonna set it again. Yeah, and it so it's a good thing that it makes you put in 8-character passwords. But from what I have, I'm not really caring too much about security that much. Like, I don't expose things to the outside world unnecessarily, and in theory, whatever. It's just, I don't know, it seems a bit of an annoyance. But then again, when you factor in that this was designed to be used by companies, I guess it makes sense. So we're just going to say it as a bare metal install, even though it's going to be a VM. It doesn't know or care about the difference. Operating system should, nope. See, made a mistake right there. It should be set to CentOS. And I'm just going to do a CentOS install. I thought about doing Fedora Atomic, but we'll leave. Maybe I'll do one of the. Maybe I will do one of the workers to be CentOS. But for now, we're just gonna make the master CentOS box. So template CentOS 7. Name this just so I know what it is. Cube master. It's weird that I can spell Kubernetes. Okay, so 2, set this to Pixie. And you know, I've been setting everything to associate with the second NIC, but I think I'll do associate it with the first NIC. The second NIC, set the first NIC because, yeah, what the hell. And we're going to set this up to be 100 gigs. Like you see, I set it here to just boot off of Pixie. I've never actually looked at the advanced settings. Let's see. Auto power on. Yeah, all stuff that doesn't matter really right now. Sure, we're going to hit create there. Let me see. I feel like my get a lower third is taking up too much room. There you go. That's better. Alright, so now what we're interested in is we need the MAC address. Why do we need the MAC address? Well, when foreman... For some reason I have two of these open. So when foreman creates the Pixie boot file, he is essentially does it based on the MAC address. So because of that, we're not going to put one in. And as you can see, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see. It autofill. I'm dual stacking, and it's going to autofill the IPv6 addresses for me because basically because for IPv6, I don't mind if it can throw any IPs it wants. So many of them out there, doesn't really make a difference. So I'm going to go there, I'm going to hit submit. See, it says pending installation. That's all the info that it needs. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit power on this bad boy, and if I'm just going to bring up the console, and the console is going to start up, and it's going to Pixie. It's going to get its IP addresses, and it's pulling its Pixie file. And while that's going, I think I'm going to try to set up a Fedora. Let's see, create operating system. Fedora. You know what? I'm not even mess with this tonight. So, I mean, there isn't really much else to show you while this is happening. It's just doing its thing. And the installer is running, and it's going. No, there's a task here. What's the task for? Oh no, it says no pending tasks. Of course. I mean, yeah, we can browse around. I only have one pool, one host, running 4 VMs. Still got tons of storage left. CPU might become an issue because this is doing hardware virtualization, which I read it to be that it just passes the hardware onto the VM, and since it's only a 16 core, well, 8 core hyper-threaded setup, it means that after I use the 16 cores, then we're potentially going to be overcommitted, and then bad things might start to happen. But we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I'm also trying to get a R620 to replace the R410. I can throw tons more RAM in there. I still believe it's 16 cores, but hey, whatever. It's also a little bit more power efficient. I don't know. Stay tuned for that one. I also need to do some more work on the lab. I bought the hardware to fix the shelving on the lab rack, and I cut it, I painted it, and I got lazy, so we'll do that some other time. And then you can run backups. I mean, I never did any backups. Let's see. Let's see, disaster recovery. Let's do a Delta backup. I've never actually even looked at this, so I could be doing this completely all wrong. Automatically run a schedule, retention. Let's keep the last 5. Not really sure what that is. Let's do a smart backup. And, you know, why the hell not? We'll back up all the VMs. Not use if it's empty. So actually, yeah, that makes more sense, right? Because I don't want to back up that machine since I'm not actually using it. And we can back up every day. Every 2 days at 3 o'clock. That looks good to me. Oh, why is it running twice though? It's running Tuesday. Okay, something's wrong. Okay, I get how this works. So, run the backups every day at 3. It's cron. Anyway, let's go back to our VM and see how it's doing. Yeah, so what that was saying is that in my Kickstart file, I had said I wanted XenTools, which is not correct. It's XC utilities, and it's actually not in. It's not in any Red Hat repositories that I can find. So, I need to fix that. So this is the one I need. I need to just take that out. And then so we'll see. That's not correct. So let's take that out. Yeah, I don't know why it asked me that twice, to be honest with you. That should have been enough. Oh, great. It's doing that thing where it does. Alright, you know what? I'm probably going to halt this. I want to fix a few things because that's actually pretty damn annoying. So, move the mic a little bit. Under a default clone, I don't like... I'm not one for separating I'm not one for separating my partitions. I actually just like one big old partition with the LVM, and that's it. Like, I'm not, like, I know why you do it. Like, you know, you can slice things as necessary. You say var gets full, you just add space to var, and you know, I get it. I don't like it. I just do one, that's it, one flat setup, and that is it. I don't like the other stuff. So in Preseed, it's a little easier to figure out how to where that is and how to change it. This is not quite that simple. Local time proxy. So it's using packages only. Disable firewall and boolean. Actually, I want the firewall disabled. So, alright, let's go through this because I didn't actually look through it the first time. I'm just using the one that comes with that came with foreman, and root pass disable firewall. So, I don't know, actually. Kickstart's a little weird for me to read. Preseed seems a lot easier at times, at least from what I've seen. There's a lot of conditions here. Bootloader. This part. So this is doing the disk layout. But it seems like that's just importing a snippet. Hold on. Partition tables. Yeah, if I could spell kickstart. Maybe that is right. Oh, Jesus, I don't need XenTools. I mean, I'm gonna. It's kind of like, for anyone wondering what XenTools is, it's basically the Xenserver equivalent of VMware tools. So I'm gonna install it. I'm gonna install it manually. This is probably why I should have like music or something playing. Okay. I'm basically just looking in the I'm looking at a Chrome window in Chrome in the other window, in my other display here, trying to figure out how to do Fedora 27, and it is in the just in the Red Hat family, but I'm curious, do they have one separate map? It's Red Hat. Let's flip it. So I might not finish setting up the the Fedora, because it is partition kickstart default. Oh, nice. Alright, so that's actually pretty freaking easy. Let's see here. Partition solution view Fedora templates. So I go back in here, templates, version of templates. Let me see what they have for Fedora. Now, obviously, because they're the same, obviously because it's still it's the same flavor, I can just use a lot of the same things here. See, Fedora Atomic associated, and if I go back to operating systems, Fedora Atomic parameters, provision templates. That should actually be all I need to get this working, right? So partition table, using Kickstart. So you're going to use Fedora Atomic Mirror, Kickstart default. I don't need to add any parameters. I am also going to make a host group, just because it's nice to set some same defaults on stuff. So there's no parent. I'm just going to call this Atomic. Description is going to be Fedora Atomic production compute profile. Yeah, we'll use that one. And so I would ask about Puppet, but I don't, since we're not using Puppet, it really doesn't matter. And IPv4 subnets. Realm, I believe, is for when you're using IPA, free IPA, which I'm not using. So doesn't really matter. What the hell did I do? Pixelant. My super secret password. And that is actually it. So now I can go away. So now we can go back and create the hosts. I don't remember is what we called it. So I'm gonna have to log back into my little Raspberry Pi here that's running my DNS server. And oh, there is a file. Oh, there it is. Oh, nope. That was just running checksum. And it's going to be node 1. It's going to be an atomic host. It's kind of nice, right? Because it just fills in all this stuff just based off the host group. Don't have to tell it anything. And this super secret password. It's also, you also have to always put the password in for some reason, because that is how foreman functions. Like, it won't let you proceed past that point unless you put that password in, even though it's already set somewhere else. At least that's been my experience. Let's go ahead and add another VM. I'm gonna call this node. Oh. Alright, so the template, I'm just gonna use this CentOS 7 template. Node 1. Kubernetes worker. Node. And I'm gonna another 2 CPUs, give you a little bit more RAM, because essentially you're the one that I actually want working on bearing the brunt of the work. Disk, I'm gonna give you 200 disk and create. Back to network. Oops. Copy that. Add you here. There we go. This is going to be 10.04.201. And just hit OK. That should be everything. So hit submit. And what? No Pixie Linux templates available. Do I have to? I believe I have to build the Pixie default. I'm actually not even sure about that. Pretty sure but let's see. Let's try it again. Node 1. I probably need to bump up the. So what's struggling here? Oh, my CPU is like spiked on my Mac for some reason. Anyway, that's causing things to freeze up a little bit. I should probably figure out what the hell's going on that's causing it to do that. MAC address, ETH0, node 1, general, boom, 10.0.4.201. But I could have also had foreman manage IP addresses for me. I should, and I used to have a separate network for lab stuff. But yeah, effort. Let's see if it works. Nope, no Pixie Linux templates were found. Operating systems. No. Yeah. Oh, it is under the host group. Yeah, unless I'm not reading that correctly. So I'm not going to use a host group. I'm going to do this as manual as possible and see what the hell happens. Save and solve for the atomic mirror. Kickstart default. Pixie Linux. I like that it's actually smart enough to tell me, hey, dummy, you didn't put in network information. Let's see what happens here. It's going to throw the same error. Oh. I'm an idiot. So. I'm pretty sure it was this one. And if you look at association. So Pixie Grove Global Default's the one that I was using here. Which one did I use for? I mean, did I do Pixie default Pixie for this? Apparently I did, so I guess I need to do Kickstart default Pixie. Association for the atomic. Okay, and I said this before, let's hope that works this time. Man, I really want some music. Well, apparently, in this day and age, you can't play music if it's licensed, because you get all kinds of copyright stuff, and I don't want to deal with that. So let's look at operating system. Okay. Honestly, I don't even know if this is going to work anymore, and I'm kind of getting annoyed at the fact that it's. I've already tried this like 4 or 5 times already, and I'm just not really in the mood. So if it doesn't work this time, I'm just not going to rebuild it. I'll probably just roll with the one. And on the interface, MAC address, ETH0. Last time I did that, I had I ended up having to rename the interface inside of Linux because, well, inside the config file because of what the OS called it, and named the interface, and what I chose is not. Or the same thing. So, I mean, I know everyone saw. I said everyone, there's no one watching, but boom, 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 boom. Association default iPixie. Oh. No. Let's precede. What's in the default. iPixie. Start default iPixie. There. Kickstart default grub. Actually, I don't even know. I mean, there's nothing here, and the CentOS box works fine. So default Pixie. Linux. Association. Fedora Atomic. Alright. And just for shits and giggles, as I say, I'm gonna have it redeploy all the stuff to the TFTP server. No Pixie Linux templates. Alright, this is my final attempt. And then I'm done with this because I just don't have the time. I also want to just move on to getting the OpenShift cluster going. And like I said, I'm not going to use a host group. I'm just going to try doing it this way. I should also disable the i36 because I have no intention of ever building a 32-bit VM. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with that. Alright, so according to Foreman, the other machine should be finished. I'm sure there's a faster way than I'm doing to go back and forth, but for now it's fine now. Alright, let's see, root, super secret password. Yeah, there you go, she's alive. Alright. So, that actually looks a lot better. Let's bring up terminal here, exit. If I had looked at the message, I would saw it says line 1 on it. So yum update. Do yum upgrade. That's fine. So in theory, when I was just about to say, in theory, when this was built, it also it also built it. It also ran Yum Upgrade on there for me. So I'm gonna get out of full screen there, and I'm gonna just take care of some housekeeping, just because I'm anal and it annoys me. New disk. How did I do this before? It's not new disk. Here we go. Mount the disk, and I need to mount the guest tools. I need to do mount dev CD-ROM. Well, what the hell's in dev? Oh. Right. There's no CD-ROM installed. How are we looking on the board? So this is the one we're working on. This sort of works, and I'm actually not even sure why it works. I have the drives all ready for this, so I just need to add it. I'm not really sure I'm going to do this. Not really sure I'm doing this either. Still need to do this one. I'm just going to close because I'm not running over it anymore. I'm just going to close you out. So how many issues do I have open? I have 20 open issues. 20, yeah, so I had 23 issues. I have 20 left. This is for a freaking home lab. Jeez. Actually, what I'm going to do, in the interest of laziness, let's just copy my key over so I don't have to keep typing my password in. So let's see, let's go back to the OpenShift origin cluster setup. Alright, so I need to check. So we need to install Docker. So yum list available Docker. I can't even tell if that's like a new version of the newer version of Docker or like the old version of Docker. Install Docker CE. So it's not I don't know how to do this. I honestly, these have all the stuff in here, and I can just copy and paste rather than typing. None of that should be in there. So let me see something. How did they do the disk layout? Yeah, /home is huge. I'm gonna fix that one day. And then we add the repo. Let's do, yeah. let's just see uninstall docker -ce. So basically what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up having to add a second this machine just because of the way the partitions are laid out. I did not want a 46 gig home drive, home directory, because I'm never going to use that much. And this is also why I prefer to just do a flat LVM layout, because this makes life easy. I don't need to worry about a partition running out of space. Like if the root VG runs out of space, then that's, you know, that's a different situation altogether. So alright. And because this is not Labbin based, I have to run the systemd stuff manually. And let's see. Need to add insecure registry. Oh, at least I know this part works. It installed Nano for me, because the default minimal install doesn't come with Nano. Okay. I know what you're saying. List it all out here. Yeah, there's no containers directory. It's probably Docker. Whatever. Etsy Docker daemon. There is no Docker daemon.json, but we'll make it work. Docker daemon.json. Do that. Bang, bang. So you want to do systemctl daemon reload. And then restart Docker. So let's see something. Systemctl status firewall d. First thing I do is kill this thing. Disable and stop. Don't need it. I have my main firewall to protect the house, and that's good enough. So ensure that your firewall allows containers. Determine the Docker bridge networks. Yep. Okay. So we're going to copy link location, and we're going to, is wget installed? Okay. Yeah, I should have saw that coming, so it's not really a URL, it's just like a reference or something. So it's interesting because after all this, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to run just a regular Kubernetes, just because reasons. Let's see, we need to do tar. So cd OpenShift blah 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 ls say, and then I say to place it in my path. So if I did echo, so I'll just copy it to the usual local bin. So I have a sneaky suspicion I'm gonna run out of space on var. I'm clearly not going to get through all this tonight because there's a lot of steps, and I also need to add. I need to figure out how to add more boxes. But it's running. Yeah, and also, you know what? That's fine because I don't really want to do OpenShift. I just thought about it. So I am actually going to end this here, and I think what I'm gonna do. Well, I guess I could show this. So this is another fresh build. I haven't actually set anything up, and wow, it actually looks quite different than it usually does. Instance groups, one instance running, applications, users. So we can do something like credentials, add credential type is a machine. And good luck trying to copy this. Sudo. And let's see. This one's Ryan. And so that should take care of that one. And I need to make another credential. This one is root. So another machine credential. It's root. Use the same private key, just no escalation needed. Bang that out. And so basically all I'm just doing is telling it how to log into my servers. DO, no. Bitbucket. And this one will be an SCM credential. I'm not going to do anything with this, I'm just going to kind of show you guys this. Source control. Bang. It's done. Key. I don't think I need a password for this. But anyway, and projects, it comes with a default project. So if you do the run this one, it's going to it should download the it should do the job, which is basically just a git clone. I don't know, for some reason I feel like these VMs are resource constrained somehow. I mean, 2 gigs of RAM, it's not really doing anything much. It's also using most of it, isn't it? Yeah, it's using most of the 2 gigs. Whatever. Maybe I'll bump the RAM up a little bit. I have plenty of RAM and I will pretty much never use that much. Let's see if it's running. It didn't start yet, but whatever. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a night. It's late. It is 2:15. I'm gonna chill out, have a beer, and go to sleep. See you guys next time.